Hey, what's up guys? Spacebar here. Today I just wanted to make a video on how you can jailbreak your Kindle. There's various reasons you'd want to do that. One of the biggest advantages is that you can natively use EPUBs on your book, and then you can really customize the UI and use something called Koreader. So your actual book reading experience will be far more customizable. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is grab your Kindle, turn it on airplane mode, and then plug it into your computer, whether it's Mac or Windows. This tutorial is going to be following me on a Windows computer, but it will work for Mac as well. Okay, so we're on the computer now, and what we're going to need to do is head over to this GitHub link. Again, there will be a link in the description, but if you want to type it in manually, it's github.com/kindlemodding/winterbreak. This is the actual jailbreak we're going to need to download. So we will head over to the releases section, and we will just download whatever is the latest release. We will click the tar.gz file, and then we will head over to our downloads. We will open this, and we are actually, let's extract this. We'll just right-click extract, and we're going to put it in the winter break folder. So it's been extracted to our downloads now. We're going to open our Kindle up. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the Mosquito folder, the apps folder, this, basically everything besides the .github and the README. Make sure that you can see these hidden. These are hidden files. They have a period in the start of the file name. If you can't see those, click View, Show, and Hidden Items. If you don't have that on, you're not going to be able to see them probably. And I think on Mac there's a keyboard shortcut which I will also put on the screen. So anyway, we're going to drag these over to our Kindle's root directory. So that is if you were to go to your Kindle and go as far out as you can. So like this PC, Kindle, it's the furthest out. Okay, so now that we've dragged the files onto the device, all we're going to do is unplug it, and then we're going to reboot it. Make sure to ensure that your airplane mode is on. That is incredibly important. This isn't going to work if you turn off the airplane mode. So we're going to hold down the power button, and then we're going to restart the Kindle. Okay, so our Kindle has rebooted, and now what we need to do is launch the Kindle store. We can either do that by clicking on any of the Discover books that are not already downloaded on the device, or you can click up here on the cart. So I'm going to click the cart. It's going to tell you that you need to turn on Wi-Fi, basically, and it's going to ask if you want to turn airplane mode off. So we're going to click yes. Okay, so then it's going to pop up with this screen that you've probably never seen before. What we're going to do is we're going to click this winter break icon. So now we are actually jailbreaking the device. We just have to wait a few seconds. And you can see here it's finished installing. I got confused the first time I did this. You can now disregard the thing that says wait. It just says please install the hotfix now. So we're going to move on to actually installing the hotfix on the device. Okay, so we're on the computer now. I just wanted to explain what the hotfix actually does. So as of now, if you were to install an update on your Kindle or restart it, you will lose jailbreak. So if you have experienced jailbreaking iPhones, that would be considered like an untethered jailbreak. In a tethered jailbreak, you'd be able to actually reboot the device. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this hotfix. We're going to head over to this GitHub link, which is, of course, in the description. We're going to head over to the releases, and we're going to download the update hotfix universal bin. Okay, so we're going to go back to our Kindle's root directory as we did before, and we're going to take this file, and we're just going to drop it on the Kindle. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and unplug your Kindle. So we are going to go over to settings, and then we're going to go to device options, and then software updates. So then we're going to click the update button. We're going to wait a little while for it to actually work. And now your Kindle is going to reboot and install the new update. It should go pretty quick because it's a pretty small file. Okay, so our Kindle has turned back on, and now we should see a book called Run Hotfix. So what we're going to do is we're going to click that, and you'll only need to do this one time ever. You will never have to do it again. Okay, so the Kindle has turned back on. We are now officially jailbroken, and we have installed the hotfix that'll prevent the jailbreak from going away. What we need to do now is actually install a package manager and a launcher. So the launcher will basically allow you to launch any other mods you download. So for in this example, it's going to be Koreader. So to actually get to Koreader, we'll need to download a launcher. This will allow you to use both the default Kindle experience and use your standard AZW books, use the Kindle store, all that, as well as using Koreader and using EPUBs or just switching to it entirely if you want. But it's always going to be completely reversible. So we're going to do it this way. So what we got to do is we got to plug back in the Kindle, and we're going to install two different packages. So I will see you guys on the computer. Okay, so we're back on the computer. We've got to install two different things. The first thing is going to be called MRPI, which is, I have no idea what it stands for, but it's something package installer. And then KUAL. KUAL is the launcher that we're going to be using. So we're going to scroll down here. Here is KUAL. Make sure we do the coplate one. This is going to be for all of your common newer Kindles. So just click this right here and it'll download that file. Okay, so we've got the KUAL coplate version downloaded on the computer, and we also need to install this MR package installer. So we're going to click that as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is install MRPI. So we're going to right click the MRPI installer zipped file, and we're going to extract that. So once you've done that, you're going to click both of these folders, and you're going to drag them onto your Kindle. And then we're going to move on to installing KUAL. Okay, so I just wanted to have a quick note. There's this guide that I've been following along with on here, and I'm going to link it in the description to give a little bit of credit, but I do want to let you guys know that it's pretty out of date, and if you try to use it for the installing KUAL section, it's not going to work properly. So you guys will need to do what I'm doing in this video instead of following this. So what we're going to do instead of what they're suggesting is we're going to take this update KUAL booklet _hotfix file, and we're going to drop it on the root directory of our Kindle. Okay, so Kindle's unplugged. Once again, we're going to go to Settings, Device, Software Updates, Update. Again, this should be pretty quick. Your Kindle's going to reboot, so it's going to take a while to turn back on because they're slow. Okay, so our Kindle has turned back on, and what we can see now is we now have another new book. It's called KUAL, and this is how we're actually going to launch stuff. So again, no need to click the Run Hotfix anymore. You can totally ignore that. You might even be able to hide it. If we click the KUAL button, this is actually going to be our launcher, where we're going to be able to launch Koreader and any other applications that we install. Currently, we have nothing installed, so the only options are KUAL, Helper, and Quit. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of that, and then we're going to get into actually installing Koreader. Hey, it's me from the future. There's actually one more thing that we need to do. We need to prevent OTA updates, because if an update initiates, it's going to unjailbreak your Kindle. And if that update patches the jailbreak, that means that there's no way to go back. So it's very important that we disable these updates. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug the Kindle back in, and we're going to install an extension just like we did before. Okay, so once we are plugged in, our Kindle's plugged in, there are two different ways we can proceed. For most of you, you're probably on firmware version 5.11 or greater. For me, I'm on a 5.17. It is the most up-to-date version as of April 10th, 2025. So we need to download this file, and if you click this link, it's going to send you over to the Mobile Reads forums, and all we have to do is click it. I've already done that, so let me open my downloads. We've got this zipped folder here, and all we have to do is right-click, extract all, extract, and there you go. So now what we need to do is plug in the Kindle and open it up, and then we will go over to the extensions folder, or you can just drag this folder to the extensions folder. You don't even need to open it. Now, if you are on version 5.1 or less, it's actually even easier than this. So for you guys, you will need to plug in your Kindle just like I've done. You will need to create a folder called this. You'll have to right-click the folder and click Properties, and then you'll check the read-only checkbox. So that'll make the file read-only, and the Kindle will no longer be able to change anything or update anything. Now, if you're on version 5.11 or greater like me, all we have to do is unplug the Kindle, and I will show you guys what to do after that. So we've got the Kindle here. What we're going to do is open KUAL again. This time you're going to see something new pop up. It's called Rename OTA Binaries. So you're going to click that and then click Rename. Your Kindle will restart automatically in just a second, and that's okay. Okay, so to download Koreader, we're actually going to head over to this link here. We're going to have to use the nightly builds if you have a Kindle version after like 2012. Head over to the latest release. So for me, it's April 10th today. There was one released today a few hours ago. So we're going to click the most up-to-date one, and then we're going to download the Kindle HF version. Again, this is super important if you have a newer Kindle after the year like 2012. So we're going to click this, we're going to save the file, and then once it's completed, we're going to click it. We're going to take these both and drag them back out to your downloads. This will take a second, so just be patient. So while this downloads, we're actually going to be installing a plugin. Now this part is totally optional, but it should make your life easier to adjust to Koreader. The plugin is called All My eBooks, and what it'll do is add every single book that you have into a collection automatically, and it just makes navigating Koreader way easier, essentially. Okay, so to download this plugin, we're going to head over to this GitHub link. Again, the link will be in the description. We're going to head to the latest release. This one was released on February 28th, and we're going to download the source code. So to get the plugin ready, it should already be done because it's small. So what we're going to do is we're going to click it. We're going to drag this to your downloads. What we need to do now is right click, extract, and now it'll be in its own folder called allmyebooks.co-plugin, the one without the zip. So this one right here. So at this point, Koreader has finished installing on our Kindle. It's finished, extracting all the way. So we're going to take the Koreader and the extensions folder. We're going to drag them over to your Kindle. Okay, so it's asking me if I want to replace any files in my Kindle directory. We are going to say yes. And then, so now technically Koreader is installed. If you do not want this plugin that I've discussed that I said it was optional, you can actually unplug your Kindle now and you will have Koreader. But to install this plugin, which I promise is just going to make your life so much easier, we're going to take the folder that we've already extracted here. We're going to go over to Koreader on our Kindle, and then we're going to go to plugins. And we're going to take it and we're just going to drag it here. Okay, so we're back on our Kindle. We're going to launch KUAL just like we did before. When you first launch KUAL, there's going to be a quick start guide. You guys are welcome to take your time reading this. Using Koreader did take me a little while to get used to. I think I'm going to end up liking it more, but for now, I'm not a huge fan. I actually kind of hate it. What we're going to do is we're going to click that File Manager button to exit out of that. So at this point, we do technically have Koreader installed. So we now need to add books to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a books folder on Koreader, and you guys can actually do that manually if you click this button and the new folder, which we're just going to title Books, Create. And now if we go to our computer, any books we add here will actually appear on here. So what we're going to do is we are going to set this as our new home folder. So to set this as our home folder so it opens by default when we start Koreader, we're going to click this button here and we're going to click Set as Home Folder and then Set as Home. So now when we restart Koreader, it's just going to open right to where all of our books are. So now that we've got this folder created, what we need to do is add books to it. So I'm going to plug back in my Kindle, and then I'll see you guys on the computer and show you guys how to do that. Thing worth mentioning is if you plug in your Kindle in Koreader, it's not actually going to appear on your computer. So what you need to do is actually exit out of Koreader. So we're going to click up here, and then we're going to click this button here, and then we're going to click exit, and then exit again. So once it does that, it's going to exit back to your normal Kindle experience, and there you go. Okay, so we are back on the on the computer, and if we open our Kindle directory, you can see that we now have this books folder. Now this is only for your co-reader books. It is important to note that the co-reader can only read EPUB books. So we're going to be using Calibre to actually put the books onto the device. But if you have any EPUBs from anywhere else, you can just drop them in here. I'm going to use Calibre. I'm not going to get into how to use Calibre because that's not the point of this guide, but I can make a tutorial if that's something you guys would be interested in. If you don't have an EPUB book, but you have like a KFX file or an AZW, you can convert it to EPUB within Calibre and then basically just drag it on. So what I'm going to do is I want my whole library on my Kindle. So I'm going to select everything. I'm going to right click and choose, I've already converted them, but if you don't have them converted, you can convert in bulk. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click save to disk. I'm going to click save single format to disk. And I'm going to click EPUB. That way, I just want to make sure only the EPUBs are going over. I don't, because co-reader can't read anything else. So we're going to click OK, and then we're going to go over to your Kindle, and then books, and we're going to select that folder there. And as you guys can see, it's starting to create folders with authors. Okay, so the book transfer is done. We're going to open KUAL again. We're going to click co-reader and start. And this time it's going to open our books folder that we have full of books now. As you can see, these are all the books. It is kind of annoying to browse like this. So what we're going to do is use that plugin I mentioned. We're going to click up here. We're going to click the screwdriver and wrench icon. Go to page 2. Click more tools. And then we're going to click all ebooks collection. This will run pretty much immediately. And it's going to take effect on the next restart. So we do have to restart co-reader, but we don't have to restart the whole Kindle. So we're just going to click up here, click this button, click exit, and restart co-reader. Again, this shouldn't take too long, so I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, it was actually pretty much immediate. I didn't even need to cut. So before we actually get to the collection view, what I want to do is I want to click up here again. I want to go to start with, and we're going to change it to our favorites folder. This is technically empty, but it will immediately put you into the collections view, and it'll just make getting to all your ebooks faster. It'll save you a couple of clicks. So if we press exit and restart co-reader again, it's going to put you in this collection view, which is empty. But if we click this button down here, we now have an all ebooks collection, and it is full of books. Now, the first time you set this up, you're not going to have any covers, but they'll download automatically if you're connected to Wi-Fi or if they're embedded in the EPUB folder or file like most are. So what I do when I first set it up is I just go through and let them all update. And basically after every page is updated, I go on to the next one. There's unfortunately no faster way to do this. You kind of have to do this the first time you set it up. If you care about your book folders, it doesn't take too long. I have quite a few books. It'd probably be faster for you guys. So I'm going to go through and get this all set up, and then I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so I've gone through every single page. All my books have covers now. So I'm going to open what I'm currently reading, which is the Game of Thrones series. This is a like 5,000 page book, so it'll take a little while to open. There is a little progress bar up here as it gets ready. Okay, so our book is open. I am currently pretty far into this series, so I'm going to go down here. I think I'm somewhere around like chapter 17. It's worth noting that you can either navigate with these buttons here or like a standard book you can swipe. This has taken me some getting used to. I'm not used to doing this. You can change it, but I do think this is better, so I've just got to spend time getting used to it. One thing for me that I noticed is I just wasn't a huge fan of the way things were being laid out. So to actually change stuff, if you click up here and down here, you are now able to change your font, font size, your word spacing, word expansion. I do want to bring your attention to is the publisher font styling, or just styling in general. It really kind of ruins some books, so I want to show you guys how to actually disable it. Okay, so what you're going to want to do to disable this setting I'm talking about is you're going to want to open the menu, click the second tab, click Style Tweaks, and then Text, Font Size and Families, and then you're going to ignore the publisher font sizes and font families. So for me, that really, see now the contrast is too high, but before on my other Kindle it was way too low and there was just no way to change it. So I'm going to leave it like that probably. And for me, this is kind of how I like it. It's pretty close to this one. I'll probably tweak it a little bit more, but it's close enough. So guys, so at this point you are fully jailbroken. You have both co-reader and the standard Kindle experience. You are fully set up to use KUAL to install other items or plugins. Like you can do like Game Boy emulators or whatever you're into, you can probably do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions or run into any issues, let me know. Let me know if you see anything that I did that was wrong. And yeah, thank you.